Welcome friends to the OHA YouTube video channel. I'm your channel host OHA George, and this is the second episode of the OHA Workshop. Today I'd like to show you how to build Amon Hen using Hirst Arts molds. Without further ado, let's get cracking. All right guys, and we're back. I think the best way to show you how to build this project is to break it down into sections. So therefore, we're going to be looking at the upper portion, the seed itself, and then we'll work our way down. Therefore, I'm going to explain to you the two molds that you will need to create the upper portion. That is mold number 203, the cracked floor tile. Each one is completely different, more or less. You can see it, and you have various sizes. You'll be needing to cast this one 4 times. And then you'll need mold number 53. I believe it is the bridge mold. I'm just going to check the website right now because I couldn't remember the name. I think it is the bridge mold, yes. And primarily what we're going to be using here are these decorative pieces. And I think at last count we need to cast this about 12 times. So yeah, I would recommend that you cast the whole thing and then keep the pieces for future reference. Probably the best thing you can do. All right, so let's move these aside. And let's start gluing. So grab yourself a piece of parchment paper so the excess glue doesn't glue to your table or surface. The glue that I like to use is Aleene's tacky glue, but you can go ahead and use any PVA glue that you have laying around. And without further ado, let's get cracking. So you start off, we're going to be, the whole upper portion is going to measure about 4 inches in width. Each one of these larger tiles are 1 inch. And then you have the half tile, which is a 1/2 inch. And then you have the quarter piece. So these are the pieces that we're going to be focusing on. So we're going to glue 4 pieces across, and then I'll get back to you with the next row. Okay, so the second row, we're going to be looking at the, we need to stagger them. So we're going to put the 1/2 inch followed by 3 1-inch pieces. And then we'll finish it off with another 1/2 inch. Okay, so we'll glue those pieces up and we'll be right back. All right guys, I went ahead and I continued the staggering. So the third row here is just 4 1-inch blocks. What you'll need is to get some sort of square instrument to make sure that your work is nice and straight. Push it up against the wall. Make sure that it is straight. Don't worry about all the glue that seeps out. When it's dry and you paint over it, it's not going to show. So this is the beginning of the opening. What we're going to need to do here is we're going to go lengthwise with the 1/2 inch and with the quarter, and we're going to add that there. I don't know if you can see it, I've already made one. So we have the 1/2 inch and the quarter, and then you need the big 1 inch with the 1/2 inch. So, and then we'll just take our glue. You just need a little bead. Go ahead and apply that there, and do the exact same thing on the other side. Again, the magic of television, I happen to have one already done. Not that this is television by any means. Right, so make sure we're nice and square here. If you want, you can even put one of these pieces in there to just help you with making sure that everything is nice and straight. Okay. Remove this. We don't need that there. Now let's go ahead and add another one. Now we're going to stagger it again, so we're going to have the 1 inch on the opposite side. Again, just a little bead along the top. And apply a little bead on both sides on the 1/2 inch tile. Repeat the process on the other end. And again with the 1/2 inch tile. And now to completely block it off, we need 4 to go along the bottom. And that concludes the upper portion for this segment. I will be back when this dries, probably in about 40 minutes or so. And then I will continue with the project. See you guys in a bit. Go ahead and proceed with part 2. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add some foam core. I have some scrap 5mm thick foam core that we're going to glue to the underside of this tile. Now I've added some glue here. Maybe we're going to add a little more. And this is going to act as a barrier and support for the decorative piece that's going to go around the perimeter. So let's go ahead and just add this. So what I've done is I've just trimmed it out, leaving clearance of approximately a 1/2 inch all the way around, plus or minus. And there you have it. Now when we go ahead to, when we proceed adding the decorative piece, you need to put the wider part face down. So that everything is all uniformed. And then we're going to just continue on. So I'm going to go ahead and start gluing that. Do one side at a time. Don't forget to add just a little bead in the back. Make sure that you push it against the side. And just a dab on each side. There we go. So this piece, as I mentioned earlier, we need to cast that mold about 12 times to make sure we have enough to go around. There we go. And then we just continue doing so until the complete upper portion has been covered. Okay, so I'm not going to bore you guys with adding this. I'm just going to go ahead and continue, and I'll be right back when it's done. Alright guys, so as you can see, I've completed the trim, decorative trim all the way around. Now it's time to apply another piece of foam core. Sorry, this is just again some scrap that I had laying around. And add some glue. So this will bring it up to 10mm in thickness. Again, this just adds strength to the decorative piece, and without any worries of it being unstable. Okay, there we go. Building this whole thing with using Hirst Arts molds. The seat itself is going to be slightly different. You can search in this book. There are plans that you can photocopy to create the actual seat as per the movie. I, on the other hand, decided to go and use Hirst Arts molds to create whatever I found best suitable. So the molds that I used to create the seat were molds number 55, 56, and going back to number 53. So 53, we have this little base piece. As you can see, it's beveled on two sides, and then you have the other two which are flat. So we need to cast that 4 times. And then for mold 56, we're going to need this piece over here, which looks like that. We'll need this 4 times. And then with mold 55, we're going to be using this piece here. And this here is actually what's going to make the seat. I don't know if you can see it. So what we're going to do is just take our trimmer and just remove the upper portion. Cut it in an angle so that it creates, so it's slightly off-centered. I don't know if you can see it. Looks like a seat. And then we'll just put that in the middle. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and glue this all down. Try to center it as best you can. Hey guys, welcome to the second installment of Building Amon Hen. Here before you see all these blocks that have been casted. Let me go over and explain to you the molds that I've used and how many times you need to cast each one. Let's begin with mold number 40. This is the basic building mold that you'll need. I can't tell you how valuable this mold is. So this is mold number 40. You'll need to cast this 7 times. And what I like to do is I like to prepare my work area as per block size. So I have the 1 inch, the 1/2 inch, and the 3/4 all laid out nice and neat. Then from there you'll need mold number 65, which is the ruined building. You'll need to cast this pillar here along with these 2 little ones. So that'll be 8 times for that one. Then we'll need mold number 60. And it's primarily to cast the stairs. This one here you'll need to cast twice. Number 51, you'll need to cast 8 times, focusing on this triangular piece that you see here. It's found right here. I believe there's another mold. I think it's a dungeon mold. I don't know the number that has another similar piece there. So if you own that mold already, feel free to use that one. And then last but not least, we have Egyptian mold number 98, which will need to be casted 4 times. And you'll need these pieces as well as the Sphinx. All right. All right, and we're back. Here before you guys, I have my measuring instrument laid out. You'll need to start off the basic building blocks in this manner. So to begin with, you'll need your 1 inch blocks. You'll need 3 in the back and 2 on either end. And then after from this point on, what you'll need to do is just stagger them. And what I like to do is I'll show you the first step. And we're going to go 4 inches in height, which means it'll be 4 rows. So this particular one, let's put the small one, the 1/2 inch block, in the corner. And then get your 1 inch, add a little bit more glue. and keep going on until the second row is completed. Now, I can't stress how important it is to make sure that the flat side stays down. Oh my God, I can tell you how many times I've had buildings done where the that side was visible. So let's just keep going on here. I'll finish this row. We can straighten this out in just a moment. Right now, let's just get the basic pieces in place. Yeah, that's all we need to do, and then we just keep going. Make sure that you're nice and flush with everything. There we go. One other thing we need to do, and that's going to be focusing on the inner walls. Here you don't need to stagger anything at all whatsoever. You can use maybe your miscasts in this part of the build. So don't put any on the bottom like I just did. Make sure that you put it on the side. And this fits on the inside of the building. So you'll need one on opposite ends. Let's go ahead and add another layer. Again, as I said, we don't need to stagger these ones because they're not going to be visible at all. There, we'll let that dry and we'll be right. Let's continue with the third row. Grab your 1-inch block, and again, start from the corner. Make sure that you're nice and flush. And let's focus on the outer perimeter to begin with. This is actually a nice project for beginners to get acquainted with using Hirst Arts molds. A lot of fun, and it looks nice when completed. So we've got that. Let's go ahead and add one more block in the far left side and right side of the building, the inner walls. We just need one on each end. Now let's try to make this as straight as we can. Use whatever you have laying around, a book, pieces of Lego. You want to make a wall. Now over here we're going to start with the slanted pieces. So we need 4. Let's add a little bit of glue to the back side as well. Hope you all can see what we've got done or what we've achieved thus far. Make sure that you're nice and straight. Oh, we got this one here that played a little bit. Nice thing is with this glue is just give it a little bit of drying time, about 10 minutes, and then you're good to manipulate and start doing what you need to do. So I'm going to go ahead and add the other layer here, and then I'll be back with you shortly. Hey guys, I forgot to mention a nice little tip. While this is drying, a good idea would be to put the stairs in between where they're supposed to go. Dry fit, do not glue them, and just push on the edge of the building just to create a little bit of tension. That will also be sure that your stairs are going to fit in there without any issue. Okay, so we'll be right back again as soon as this all dries. Next thing to do is apply glue and assemble your stairs. Make sure that the pieces fit real nice together. And once that's dry, we will go ahead and install them within the area. Alright guys, our stairs have somewhat dried. Now it's time to place them into position. This can be a little tricky to determine the height, but basically what I'll try to do is show you that's the height that we are looking for. Maybe to help assist you in this, what we can do is put one of these floor tiles here on the bottom. It's actually designed to hold one into position. So let's do that. Break out the glue and glue it into place. Okay, so let's just start applying glue along the edge, the side of the stairs. All right, give it a little squeeze from the edge. Don't worry about the excess glue. You can go ahead and wipe it off with your finger. It's not going to harm anything. So we can put that aside for a moment. Next thing we need to do is to get our pillars out. Make sure that you apply glue around the edges. Line them up. And you're good to go. Okay, so we got this one. Put that over here to dry because we have another set that's already been done in advance. Let's just secure this one. Perfect. And once your two halves have been secured. I think it's the one. Giving you a model's eye view of what we've created so far. Again, all we need to do now is just add a little bit of glue, and the Sphinx is done. So this is what we have, you know, like if you want to know the appropriate height of what we're looking for. I think that's a good view right there. Yeah, so there you go. Now this concludes the second episode of Building Amon Hen. Join me next time where I will be showing you how to base it, the materials used, the flocking, the gluing, and all that wonderful stuff to complete the project. Until then, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please push the like button and subscribe to our fellowship today. And I hope to see you all again next time. Together, brick by brick, we can build Middle Earth.